Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Northern Nevada. My name is Chris, and my personal pronouns are he, him, his, and it's my pleasure to be a part of today's service. For those attending virtually on Zoom, please note you can update your name and pronouns on screen. You will remain muted during the service, but you can use the chat box to say howdy to folks or for comments during the prayer and meditation session. If this is your first time visiting us, we are blessed by your presence and hope in time you find a home in our community. Unitarian Universalism's fourth principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And we can help you answer the big questions in life, like what is the meaning of life? Or perhaps a smaller question, such as what is the meaning and purpose of my life? Or maybe an even little bit smaller, how can I do good in the world? Our community is based on covenant, not dogma, so we won't tell you what questions to ask or what your answers might be, because the questions and answers we each seek are different for each and every one of us. But as we like to say, we don't have to think alike to love alike. What we will do is support and encourage you on your personal journey. And as a person who has been seeking for a while now, I can tell you the journey is a lot more fun and a lot less lonely if you have company. Plus, we have potlucks. If you'd like more information on Unitarian Universalism or about our fellowship, please see myself or one of our greeters, and we'd be happy to guide you to someone who can answer your questions. If you are online, please contact our office or visit our website, ufnn.org, for more information. Again, welcome to our house. And now, please take a moment to greet one another. If you're on Zoom, light up the chat box. If you're here in person, just please be mindful of those who continue to mask and observe social distancing.
Good morning. Before we started our choir anthem, I wanted to give a brief introduction to this piece. I was blessed yesterday to attend the memorial service for Andy Harold. And during that, the choir sang this song. And because our beloved pianist, Mary Lee Hunts-Malin, is not here today, we decided to bring back that presentation, but with a little bit of a flair. In that we're going to hear both what was recorded yesterday and live here in the room today. I think you'll share that it's very special, as was Andy's service, from which these flowers came as well. So enjoy. I Dreamed of Rain.
Soft and easy.
Good morning. My name is Philip Moore, and my personal pronouns are he, him, and his. I'd like to start today by asking you to think about climate change and hold in your heart and mind today the images and feelings that come up when you consider that. I asked Reverend Karen to allow me to do this service several months ago. I've had the opportunity over the last few months to have a lot of conversations with people about climate change and their attitudes, their beliefs, their actions. And what I found was an amount of denialism, doomism, despair that I found shocking. I don't want to minimize what I'm asking you to consider doing today, to remain resilient in the face of climate change. Climate change is truly horrible in every meaning of that word. According to a survey by the American Psychological Association, 2/3 of us here in the United States are feeling some form of climate anxiety. But I say to you today, if we turn away from that, then we abdicate our responsibility to the millions of people who are already suffering the impacts of climate change and the untold generations that will in the future. And even if you choose to try to escape climate change by trying to find some place less impacted, would you really stop working on this issue knowing that emissions don't stop at a geographical or political boundary? And while it may not be the best metaphor, what comes to mind is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. By avoiding it, by moving away, that may be all we're doing. Uncertainty about climate change can be debilitating, but we must stay engaged. We must stay resilient because it's going to take all of our efforts to change the trajectory that we're on. Millions of people around the world and organizations are already working to change our trajectory, locally here, nationally, internationally. So I ask you, not just for your sake, but for the sake of your family and your community and the world. Today, we will hear ideas about how to support yourselves through your own internal work, getting and giving support through your community, and reconnecting with nature. I hope you leave today with both an understanding of why resilience in the face of climate change is so important and some practices that might be helpful to develop or maintain that resilience.
And now it is time to light our chalice. Michelle, I'd invite you to light the chalice here in our sanctuary. And for those at home, please light your personal chalices. We light this chalice for the web of life which sustains us, for the sacred circle of life in which we all have our being, for the earth, the sky, above and below, and for our Mother Earth.
We'll be asking you several times today to recall those feelings and images, to hold them in your mind when you think about climate change. Yeah, I really don't want to be here today, to be honest. I want to be that guy. See that guy up on the screen? That's a picture of me on New Year's Eve in 2019. I was looking forward to my daughter graduating from high school, safely staying in a secure job until retirement, and all the trips that I was going to take in my retirement. It was a wonderful, wonderful dream. But then, I had been awakened a long time ago, and many of the people in this room helped me to be awake, but I fell asleep again. But I recognize now that comfort can no longer be my resting pose. We have created a crisis that will force us to reevaluate our values as a society. I'm blessed today to be joined by Michelle and Brian, who will be speaking to you later. And of many of the wonderful things they've shared with me about their own sense of resilience is the book called Active Hope, written by Joanna Macy and Chris Johnstone, that really helps us think about how to stay resilient in the face of climate change. And one of the basic tenets of that book is something called the work that reconnects. And it's a 4-stage process that we can practice every day. The first is to start with gratitude, to be grateful for all of the things in our lives that give us those benefits and joys. And we've talked a lot here about having those gratitude practices. It then calls us to honor our pain and to acknowledge the loss that we feel, the loss of nature, the loss of routine, the loss of the expected. But then the work that reconnects encourages us to see with new eyes, to see the opportunities that arise out of those challenges. And last, it encourages us to go forth based on that knowledge. I also read a less encouraging book recently called The New Climate Wars. And this book talked a lot about the parallels between what was done to advertise tobacco in the 40s and 50s and 60s and what was been done to talk about clean energy and clean coal and some of the other concepts that are coming across now that want us to believe that if we just stay with the current system and let others fix the problem, it's all good. But both internally and externally, there are many forces that are asking us to just stay still. It'll be okay. You don't need to do anything. And keeping us away from action. In its closing chapter, the book calls for us to have a sense of urgency and agency, to recognize the risks that come with climate, but to also feel empowered to make a difference. I also recently happened upon a podcast called Sustainability Champions, which I highly recommend. This is a podcast that over the last few years has recognized over 2,000 individuals and organizations that are making positive changes in the world. And I would say the least that these people have seen with new eyes the possibilities that come with these challenges. Being brave, I said, let me talk to my daughter about climate change. She's 22 years old. My daughter sees a breakdown in society coming, and one that she feels that she has no agency to change. And while I hope that she will change that, because I see tremendous potential in her agency in this world and the ability for her to change attitudes, I also know that I have to accept that for now. For myself and others, I believe that looking at bad news can make us inspired to take action towards a more meaningful life, rather than try to avoid it and get stuck in denial and numbing, and to rise to the challenge and remain engaged. I also recognize that there are many people who have more than enough life challenges right now. But I speak to those who, like myself, have the capacity for consideration and the capacity for change. And those are who I'm speaking to say, stay resilient and stay engaged. I am not here to tell you how to live your values. I am only here to encourage you to find your own practices that help you stay resilient, stay engaged, and to help you determine how you want to live your best life in the face of climate change. I see that as an incredible opportunity. And like Brian and Michelle, the people who I've spoken to who are at the most peace about climate change are those who have looked in the face of it and decided how to act within their life capacity. So I choose to align my values with my actions, and I choose to redefine success in my life as a sustainable life.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. We take these few moments to join together in mind, heart, body, and spirit for these moments of community prayer and meditation. The climate crisis is indeed a daunting topic. So it's important that we flex the muscle of resilience. It takes practice. It takes some thought and some intention. So I'm going to invite us now to turn within to whatever that place of resilience is for each of us. Place. For some of us, it's with loved ones, with people. For some of us, it's in connection in a deeply spiritual place. So I invite us to take a few moments now and flex that muscle of going to that place that provides us with resilience. And those who are joining us on Zoom are invited to record what is on your hearts in the chat. Even with a topic as daunting as the climate crisis, we know that in community we're not alone, and we hold it all together in the heart of love. And part of what reminds us of that is the gesture that started when we were on Zoom together and could only see each other in the windows when we were in quarantine. One hand on the heart, the other hand with our love, energy extending outward. reminding us that we can do things together in community that we could never do alone. Blessed be, and amen.
Good morning. My name's Michelle Hamilton, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm going to talk about building resilience by drawing on the strength of 3 different types of community. So the first one is our family. And I remember getting sick and staying home from school when I was little. And my mother would bring me breakfast in bed, a soft-cooked egg served in an egg cup. She'd also make buttered toast cut into thin slices so I could dip it into the soft yolk. Breakfast came on a tray with applesauce and a cup of hot tea made from linden leaves, which she harvested from the tree in our front yard. And I loved all of it. I still felt sick, but in those moments, I also felt loved and protected and nurtured. And she helped me build resilience when I was sick. At the end of her life, we changed roles. She had several forms of cancer and was in a lot of pain. I tried to support her any way I could. I called her healthcare provider, searching for ways to ease my mother's pain. I watered her plants, filed her taxes, paid her bills, and I even cut her toenails. And I hope that she felt loved and protected and nurtured. When Brian and I started our own family, we'd been working towards a sustainable lifestyle for a while. Doing that with kids was a whole different story. Lucky for us, we lived in a neighborhood where we did not have to walk to run daily errands. So instead, we would walk or cycle to many places. So imagine me walking to the grocery store, about 3 blocks, with a toddler and a red wagon. And then later you'd see me walking home, pulling the same wagon loaded with groceries and my quietly snacking toddler. So that was back in the day when people were supposed to think globally and act locally. Because after all, if everyone looks after their own backyard, then everything will be fine, right? No, turns out that's not the case. If it were true, then U.S. greenhouse gas emissions would be on a steep downward trend. They are not. And when the full force of this fact hit me, I went out looking for people and organizations that are working on much bigger solutions, systemic solutions, because individual action is not nearly enough to deal with this problem. I don't always know what to do. I can't solve the problem by myself. It's too depressing. And sometimes I'm just too angry. Does this sound familiar? This is where community can help us build resilience. When we work with other people, we become more effective because you know how to do stuff that I can't do, and vice versa. So together, we can do more. We can also support one another when we get bogged down. So when I start feeling pessimistic, I can always count on my friend Betsy to find a silver lining. Other people, our relationships, our sense of community help to keep us going. Social science research bears this out. over the long run, the research shows that people engage more deeply over time when they work together instead of acting alone. And for me, that means co-leading the local chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby, whose mission is to create the political will for a livable world. That means we work on national legislation to address climate change. If you're curious about this, then contact me afterwards. But what I want you to know right now is that being part of the Citizens Climate Lobby community is a source of resiliency for me. Not only am I learning from other people who care deeply about this issue, but it keeps me motivated and energized to keep working on solutions to the problem. And there are many people working on this problem, which takes me to another source of strength for building resilience: our society. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed by the bad news, we don't even see the good news. So last year, remember, Congress passed the biggest climate bill ever. The Inflation Reduction Act includes $370 billion, B with a B, dollars in climate and clean energy investments, including rebates and tax credits so households can get off fossil fuels. So what are we waiting for? There are lots of other examples here in northern Nevada. Tesla wants to replace our gas-powered automobiles. We have not one, but two companies working on recycling lithium-ion batteries. And in December, the UUFNN Forum featured Suzanne Groneman, who spoke about the City of Reno's Sustainability and Climate Action Plan. There are a lot of people and organizations working on this problem, and that's inspiring. Have we fixed the problem yet? Anybody? No. Thank you. Not even close. We need all hands on deck to deal with climate change. We need resilience as well, because this is hard work. And we can nurture our own resilience by tapping into the strength of community. So as a mature adult, I believe that I have a responsibility to the generations that follow, including all non-human beings. I don't want them to look back and curse me. I hope they will see my actions as one source of strength for building their own resilience so they can continue the work of creating climate solutions.
Now is the time to share our bounty to help keep the lights on and the work of this congregation going. For those here in person, we'll be passing the basket. If you are following along virtually, text UUFNN to 73256. That phone number again is 73256, and the text message is UUFNN, and then it'll be easy to follow instructions after that. You can also mail a check to our office at 780 Del Monte Lane, Reno, Nevada, 89511, or donate online on our website using our secure payment service. This month's Share the Plate will benefit the Red Dress Powwow, which is scheduled for Friday, March 24th at the Boys and Girls Club in Reno. The work of this event is to support Indigenous issues and specifically to support the families of missing and murdered Indigenous women. UUFNN recently hosted the Moccasin Ties Craft Fair, which helped this organization raise money for shoes, clothing, and other necessities for child survivors. The Red Dress Powwow will raise additional money for these families and will continue to bring awareness to the community around Indigenous issues. Thank you for your support. Please let the offering begin. Please join David and myself in blessing our offerings. To the work of this fellowship, which is helping more people grow in love, faith, justice, and joy, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. Thank you for your generosity.
Please rise in your willing and able. And sing along with us.
The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. The earth is our mother. We must take care of her. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Her sacred ground. With every step we take, her sacred ground we walk upon. With every step we take. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. The earth is our mother. She will take care of us. The earth is our mother. She will take care of us. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. The sky is our father. We must take care of him. The sky is our father. We must take care of him. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. The sea is our sister. She will take care of her. The sea is our sister. We must take care of her. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. The forest is our brother. We must take care of him. The forest is our brother. We must take care of him. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young. Hey, young, ho, young, hey, young.
Good morning. I'm Brian Thornton. My pronouns are he, him, his. Resilience means to me what keeps me going with climate activism. Closer. Resilience means to me what keeps me going with climate activism and often comes from my experience of nature. This centers around 4 qualities that gives and teaches me: love, anger, persistence, and peace. My love of nature comes from a deep well of experience in my youth, from appreciation of its beauty and an intellectual understanding of its complexity. That love motivates me to work to save natural systems. Our modern culture likes to think that humans are separate from and somehow superior to nature, and there lies one of the roots of climate disruption. We evolved as part of nature and need to reconnect with the joy and the love that comes from recognizing our connection. As a child, I was fortunate enough to spend 5 years living in a home in the hills in Issaquah, Washington, running through the woods and climbing tall trees. Later, I took up backpacking and hiking. My days of backpacking are likely over with challenging joints and aches, though I carry memories like this picture from a family backpacking trip in Grand Teton. However, I still walk outside nearly every day and find seeing the plants and the sky from my neighborhood stimulates my deep love of the natural world. All of us can get outside with a short walk or ride, looking closely at a flower in our gardens, or sitting by the Truckee River in one of our many parks, or perhaps include a national park or preserve when we take a vacation. We can also appreciate nature in other ways, such as through documentaries, magazines like National Geographic, and reading about the wondrous complexity of the science of nature. The love of nature can motivate us in the work to save it. Anyone working on climate change is likely to be overwhelmed at times and even fall into despair. Sometimes anger is a way for me to overcome that. My love of nature leads me to feel that its destruction is taking something from me and from everyone, and a welling up of outrage can impel me to overcome despair. Sometimes, too, the awesome power of nature, seemingly rising up in anger, inspires me. I sometimes feel the call of nature is like a battle cry to the eco-warrior in me, and that energy can keep me going to push through short-term obstacles. For the longer term, anger is hard to sustain and destructive of the spirit. Sheer, stubborn persistence is another lesson I take from nature that keeps me going. Nature grows and unfolds over hundreds and millions of years and will outlast and rebuild from whatever humanity dishes out. Knowing that helps me keep a longer-term perspective, as progress can be slow with many setbacks. Persistence may be the ultimate quality that makes societies change. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, a famous environmentalist, said, "Be a nuisance where it counts. Do your part to inform and stimulate the public to join your action. Be depressed, discouraged, and disappointed at failure and the disheartening effects of ignorance, greed, corruption, and bad politics, but never give up." Lastly, there is a time to rest, to regenerate, to be at peace. Nature's greatest gift for me is to offer that peace. The walk in the woods, the sitting by a river or a mirror-smooth mountain lake, or resting in the sun in the garden. Take a deep breath. Even science shows that being in nature can lower the toxins of stress in our blood and reveals other signs of healing and being at peace while in nature. A whole field of ecopsychology is built around this understanding. So let me close with us all taking a breath to the sounds and sights of nature.
Today we've called on you to both recall how you feel about climate change, what are those images and feelings, and offered some practices that might help you stay resilient in the face of those. What I'd like to do now is to invite you into small group conversations with each other. Share what you feel like sharing.
And now, announcement time. Thank you for joining us. To receive our email and other updates, please fill out a contact card at the front desk or on our website. We have a new program beginning, Stretching Our Spirits, on the second and fourth Sunday of each week at 9 a.m. Please contact Nathan Bakken for more details. Starting this Sunday, UFNN will again be offering Sunday service childcare for children under the age of 7 in our nursery. Childcare will be available from 10:50 5 p.m. in the Star King room. Please feel free to drop by, even if it's just to say howdy. Thanks to their new By the Pound program, the Reno Posse distributed meals to 25 more guests last Wednesday. It's easy to pick up a cooking kit from Patty today in the gathering room and bring it back next Sunday. The Posse is now doing over 150 bag dinners every week. After the service ends, Reverend Karen will be online to join our informal virtual coffee hour. You'll see an invitation appear on your screen to join a breakout room. And if you're here in person, feel free to linger in our gathering room.
Many of you may remember fondly our participation in a group called Action, which we were a founding member of. And sorry for the, ooh, that was terrible English, sorry. Many rallies, many listening events, many events with public officials, it was really a very exciting time. That organization has been succeeded by an organization called Faith in Action Nevada. And I'm happy to let you know that Chastity Martinez, who's our Northern Nevada representative, hello Chastity, for Faith in Action, is here today, and I encourage you all to say hello to her and ask her about what she's doing and how do we get involved. A small group of us are trying to formalize that engagement with Faith in Action, and Chas will be back on April 16th, I believe, to have a forum about that effort, that initiative. So please join that as well. So welcome, Chastity, nice to have you here.
Many of us have been following that our Washoe County Council has criminalized homelessness by instituting fines for folks who set up tents or stay too long in one place. And so we're doing everything we can to fight that injustice. So watch for opportunities. Several Sundays this month, we'll be writing postcards to the council. They're going to reconsider it next month, and we'll want to come out in force to that meeting and speak. But in the meantime, we want to flood their inboxes with emails and postcards. And so look for information about the Sundays that we'll be doing that in the next few weeks. And now please rise and body your spirit. It's time to turn the world around. Beloveds, would you receive the blessing? May we dig deep for that ever important life-sustaining resilience, both individually and in community, so that indeed we can turn the world around. Blessed be, amen, and namaste.